Hi, I'm Robin, and if you're watching this, it's because you're a nonfiction author or an aspiring nonfiction author. If you're not one of those things, this is going to be pretty boring for you. So, you're here because you're dreaming of writing a book. You want to be an author who makes a real impact, not only on your field, but maybe on the world and especially on your own life. You're either at the stage where you're trying to dial in your book proposal, or maybe you already have a book contract and you're feeling a little bit stuck. I often joke with my authors once they have a book contract, congratulations, now you just have to do that last little thing, write the book. So whether you're driven by a passion to share knowledge, make a difference, or maybe your primary goal is to establish yourself as an authority in your area, you probably already know that there's a couple of big challenges ahead. Mostly getting started and getting finished. And of course, all of that could be wasted effort if the end result isn't a genuinely good book. I have worked with literally countless authors. I've just never counted them. It's a lot. I've been doing this for about 20 years. But I've seen the things they all struggle with. Often it's self-doubt. They question whether they're the authority on this subject. There's somebody with a louder voice out there or a bigger name, somebody who's been doing it for longer. Sometimes that leads to procrastination. Sometimes procrastination comes from a place of perfectionism, and getting that first draft done turns out to be like pulling teeth for them. But I've also seen authors struggle because they're on the opposite side of that equation. They're overconfident. It means that they think they've got a perfect idea and they don't seek feedback, or they don't listen to the feedback they get. And what ends up happening is that the book falls flat because while it was perfect in their mind, it wasn't perfect for the people they were writing for. The truth is, these are scary challenges and it's hard to wrap your mind around them, but they don't have to be as overwhelming as they seem. The goal here, to make it a little bit more tangible, is that you want to write a recommendable book. A recommendable book is going to spread through your target audience organically because people want to share it. That's a really remarkable achievement, and it's possible. The thing is, for most first-time nonfiction authors, or for academic authors who are expanding to write for a broader audience, there are just a lot of things that you were never taught. Authorship and publishing can seem like this arcane system in which people guard their formulas for success, but it doesn't have to be like that. So I'm planning a workshop. That's why we're here watching this video. In the workshop, I'm going to take you through a critical 5-step process that's going to help you get this done the right way. So what are we going to go over? First, we're going to go over your idea. We're going to go over some ways that you can refine your ideas so that you can be really confident that you're writing the right book. That's going to include things like filtering through ideas. If you're the kind of person who has a bunch of different books you might want to write, and you're not sure which one you want to devote your energy to right now. We're also going to talk about how to talk about your idea, how to get feedback early on so that you can make sure that your idea is going to stick with the people you want to impact with your book. We're also going to talk about the different types of nonfiction book you can write. Sometimes that's the key to unlocking your creativity, is just being told what the options are. You'll see how these things fit together when we get into the workshop. Next, we're going to go over your audience. We are going to make sure that we clarify your audience. You're going to learn how to target the readers who will truly benefit from your book and be excited about your book. Those are key. You're going to target the right people so that the book has every chance of success. If you skip this step, next thing, we're going to talk about how to be a strategic author. There are elements to authorship that can be overwhelmingly positive and impactful on your life, on your career, on the field that you work in. And you can make them more likely by the way you plan your book and carry it out. If you don't do that stuff on purpose, though, it's only going to be luck if that happens. So we're going to go over how to make it more likely that you get lucky. That's basically what it means to be a strategic author. Once we've done those three things, we've got your idea refined, your audience clarified, you know what your strategic goals are as an author, then we're going to make an outline. We're going to go over some ways to make an outline that are similar to the things that you've been learning since high school, but with some little tweaks. There are some angles you can come at these things from, some mindsets you can use, and some techniques that you can use to create an outline that makes your book a roadmap for your writing, but also that helps you help your reader, that helps you have confidence in your project, that removes the need to wait for the muse. Do you ever get that sense that you're in a doldrum, you're in a funk, and you just don't feel like writing today? How do you make progress when that's the case? If it's your scheduled day to write and you don't feel like you can make progress, well, having an outline that's done the right way can make that a lot easier. And then the last thing we're going to do, though certainly not least, is we're going to make a plan. We're going to make a really good, clear work plan. That's going to be specific, it's going to be achievable, and it's going to help you finish your book on a knowable timeline on schedule. We're going to do all of this stuff live together in the workshop. It's going to be a small group, so it's going to be really, truly an opportunity to engage and get real work done. So if you've ever struggled with any of this stuff, self-doubt, procrastination, maybe you haven't struggled with those things, and that makes you worried that you might be in the other group, a bit overconfident and wasting your time on a wrong book. I get it. This workshop is designed to help you focus your energy on writing the right book, avoid the traps that leave so many books unfinished, and the ones that unfortunately lead to so many finished books going nowhere. Did you know that the average book sells fewer than 200 copies? I want you to start out right and create every opportunity for your book to succeed. We want to get this book into the hands of every appropriate reader that could benefit from it. So here's the bottom line about this. People who take this workshop, do these steps with me, will finish their manuscript drafts on schedule if they follow the plans they make inside the workshop. I guarantee it. There's no way you can fail if you follow the plans that you make. Beyond that, following these steps is going to increase the chances that you write a recommendable book. Now, I've said that a few times, I think, recommendable. So I should probably explain. Okay, there's a few things about this. It's pretty simple, though. Okay. I'm going to draw it because this makes it a little bit easier for me to talk through and for you to understand. So imagine this is you, or maybe this is you and your publisher. Okay, you've got your book finished. Your book is about to be published. Your book and you and your publisher are going to work together to get your book into the hands of readers, right? So this is your first reader, and the line represents the work that you do to sell the book to that reader. Now, if your book is good, but not great, what do I mean by that? If your book is good, but not recommendable, what's going to happen is you and your publisher are going to be able to work and get that book out. Maybe you've got a really compelling topic. Maybe it's really timely. Maybe it's a thing people are concerned about. And so it's not that hard to get the first wave of people to buy your book. But after 3 months, 6 months, your publisher is going to run out of attention to spend on your book. They're going to have to move on to books in the next season. So it's going to be then down to you. If you want to sell one more copy of your book, if it's not recommendable, then every copy of the book that sells has to be due to the original effort that you put in. On the other hand, if you write a recommendable book, this is you again, you get your book out to your first reader. I probably should have color-coded these dots, but whatever. Your reader is the one that you identified in this workshop. You know exactly what it is that you need to do for them so that they're going to love your book. And so when they read it, it's recommendable. The thing is, your reader probably knows other people who are a lot like them. So they go ahead and recommend your book to a couple of their friends. Now, background context for this, industry studies have shown for years and years and years that the top two reasons why anybody buys the books they buy are either, number one, the author's a celebrity, right? So celebrity author means if Michelle Obama writes a book, it's going to be a bestseller. Okay. If Stephen King publishes a new book, everybody who's a Stephen King reader is going to buy Stephen King's new book, right? The author has this reputation and this following, and people are going to buy the book. Unfortunately, we cannot make you a celebrity. Fortunately, the second most common reason why people buy a book is because it was recommended by a friend. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make sure that the book is recommendable by the person you target. I guarantee you there's 1,000 people just like this person. And if you get the book into the hands of these people and they're recommending it to other people who are like them, this recommendation chain doesn't even have to go all that far. By the time the first person has recommended it, the book has social proof. That means that these people will feel more comfortable not just buying it on that recommendation, but recommending it again because they're not sticking their neck out. They're not the first one to recommend it. This is how you get a book that lasts years and years and years. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, people are still reading it and recommending it. That's the goal. That's why we want to make a recommendable book. So how do we get started? I'm planning this workshop. Registration is going to be open soon. Click the link here and answer a few questions about your book and the things that you think you need, and that'll put you on the waiting list. I'll have that information in my hands so that I can reach out when the registration opens. Like I said, it's going to be a small group, so I'm going to be curating the list of people who I invite and make sure that you fit in with a group of people who are appropriate for the stage that you're at and the kind of book that you're writing, so we can make sure that we have really productive conversations. Great. That's it. Let's make this book happen together.